Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast, where we cover anything related to behavior change that will increase your long-term wellness and happiness. And now, here are your hosts, personal trainer and RNs, Matt and Jenna Lane.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. I feel like I'm getting better at my intros now. Welcome to this podcast. My name is Matt.
And I'm Jenna.
We are both your hosts. I'm a personal trainer. Jenna and myself also are registered nurses. This podcast is all about implementing behavior change for your long-term wellness and happiness. We cover numerous different topics, and today, this one has been on my head for a while. It's something that I've been saying for quite some time. If you are easily offended, you might want to turn this one off, because today I want to talk about how we all just need to toughen the up. There's no way I can put it better than to say it like that. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Before we dive into it, we would really appreciate it if you went over to iTunes and left us a review, whether it be positive or negative. We would appreciate it. We want the honest feedback. If you leave a review, and up from the launch of the podcast up until October 16th
of 2019.
That's a very good clarification point. Thank you. If you leave that review and then drop me an email at MattLaneFitness@gmail.com, I'm going to send you a free t-shirt, a Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast t-shirt, for leaving that review. We really appreciate it. It is the lifeblood of podcasts, and we here are trying to grow. Jenna, tell me how you feel about this topic.
Well, I can say I've heard you mumbling this to yourself quite a few times over the last several weeks.
Yeah.
As I walk by you here at the house.
Yeah. It's something that's just been brewing in my head lately. And MattLaneFitness is a company that Jenna and I run. And I feel like all the content we put out on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Yahoo and Google and blah, 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 I feel like we focus so much on the behavior change aspect, which I want to do, but I feel like there's another side of MattLaneFitness that I'm not showing. I'm doing a disservice because there's a side of me that truly believes in this, and that you just have to toughen up. Without grit, without fortitude, without pushing through and just being tough, all the other things won't add up. When the going gets tough, you have to get tough. Before we dive even deeper into it, there's a portion of the show where we hit you with our gratitude point. It's a point of the show where we talk about something that we are grateful for, that we come up with off the spot, something that we haven't really thought about, something that comes to our mind. Jenna, take it away. What is your gratitude point of the day?
Well, in keeping with the subject matter, I'm usually the first person to make up an excuse or give up. And Matt, you've always been very kind but tough in keeping me motivated and sticking to my goals, and I appreciate that.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate that. What sort of turned me into a man is the gym. I there's no way I could say that any broier, but it's the truth that I grew up when I found the gym. So I'm grateful for the gym. I'm grateful for what it's taught me. It's taught me to toughen up. So I couldn't be any more grateful. But let's hop into it finally. This again is a topic that's just been heavy on my head, and I myself have wrestled with this for quite some time. And I think that you have too. And I think that this can be interpreted in different ways. It's not just, hey, you need to toughen up and go to the gym. Toughening up mentally, toughening up financially, toughening up in general, and doing what you're supposed to do and having the discipline to do it. That's toughening up.
Yep. Yeah. And it's buckling down and sticking to your guns and making a decision to accomplish something and not giving in until you've accomplished it.
If I had $1 for every person that I've run into that does not have the gumption or fortitude to keep going, I would be financially free. And I'm not insulting those people for whatever reason, they are not tough in that moment and they don't have the gumption to keep going. But if you don't keep going, if you don't, whatever you're working on, if it's fat loss, if it's your financial plan, if you're working on a degree, I don't care what it is. If you stop, it's immediately done. You will not achieve it. You have to keep going. I mean, and one thing that I've noticed in my fitness journey specifically, because my fitness has always been so closely related to life for me. Like I've learned so much from fitness that's translated into business and growing up and becoming mature and learning to communicate and all that. I found that we ride this line where we trick ourselves or we question ourselves and we're like, oh man, I should just rest. My body needs the rest, especially when it's early in the morning. You got to get up and go to work. You need to get up and go to the gym or whatever. You hit that snooze button, you're already losing starting the day. When you get up, when you said you're going to get up, you start out with a win. I mean, there's such a fine line, and I've ridden it many times. I've done it. I have woken up and I've been like, oh, I know I was planning on going to the gym last night. I know I put my clothes over there. I know I put my alarm clock across the room. But, I really feel like I'm tired. I need to rest. No, I need to get up and go. That's me making excuses and not holding myself accountable.
Yeah, and it's you tricking yourself into thinking that you need something else. Sometimes you're your own worst enemy.
Yeah, that's true. Elaborate on that. You need something else.
Because, for your example, like at night, you didn't think, well, really, my body's worn down. I need to rest. No, at night, you felt fine. You were motivated. But it's the point of just getting started in the morning.
Yeah.
You trick yourself into saying, well, my bed's so comfortable. Mm-hmm. Is really what you're thinking, yep. Rather than saying, oh, I need to rest. Yep. No, you just don't want to start.
Exactly.
And I get that because I think that too. Mm-hmm. Every day.
Yep. I believe that there are two voices that are in your head. And it's kind of similar to the angel and the devil. Yep. The angel is like, the best side of you, the good side, and then the devil is, taking away from you or adding the negativity. And I don't mean it in the literal sense of an angel and a devil, but I'm just going to call it a negative and a positive. So there's a positive voice and a negative voice. The positive voice is saying, get up, let's do it, you can do this, let's go. The negative voice says, stay laying here, it's comfortable, hit snooze. And you have to go with the positive voice. It's at that moment that it's your choice. And since we're talking about waking up in the morning, let's talk about what happened this morning, precisely.
Yeah, before we got on this podcast, I was telling Matt how this morning when I woke up, was on Wednesdays, we get up at 5 and go to the gym at 5:30. And it's not a work day for me. It's one of my days off. And I would love to just sleep in and go to the gym later during the daylight hours. And last night, Matt was complaining about his back hurting. And this morning, not any malice towards my husband, but I woke up thinking maybe his back hurts too bad for us to go to the gym. Yeah. And I literally woke you up, like rubbing your back. And I'm like, how's your back feel? Do we just need to stay in bed?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, I think I could feel you reaching for a reason. And I get it because my back still hurts as we record this. It's tough to sit here. I did a lot of volume on squats yesterday, so I'm feeling it. But in that moment, that's where we win or lose.
Yeah.
And I got out of bed slowly, and then I started walking to the door, and it was tough to walk. And let me clarify, I am not injured. I'm just sore. Okay, yeah. There's a difference. There's a difference between being stupid about it and then just toughening through it, and that's what it was. And then you said, "Well, I think that we should just get there and stretch," and I was like, "Hell no." No. We're going to work if we're going to go. And it was a win for both of us. It was. Yeah. It was.
Yeah, and we went. We had a good time. I did a bunch of new movements. Mm-hmm. And we both survived. So we're better for it.
Exactly. I think I'm in more pain, but yeah. No, I'm good. I'll be fine. If we want to change, we have to change. You have to change your way of thinking.
Yep.
There was a quote that I heard probably 2 years ago as of recording this podcast. If you want your income, your income is going to grow into proportion to how much you grow. And the same thing applies to any area of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I think, sometimes if you're comparing yourself to someone else and you know that at some point you were at the same point in life and now they're way exceeding what you're doing, you're not seeing the behind the scenes work. They're not giving in to that negative thought every day. They're pushing through it. They're pushing through. That's how they're succeeding. There's no magic success. There's no magic, they just happen to be succeeding and I just happen to be failing. Most often it's that they're not giving into that negative voice every day. They're pushing through, they're toughening it out. And that's why they're being more successful.
Yeah. And I say this from experience, comparison will kill you. It does nothing. That does nothing positive for you. It will only set you back to sit there and compare yourself to someone physically, mentally, financially, business-wise, whatever. It does nothing. So stop. Just stop doing it. I feel that if you can surround yourself with tough people, and when I say tough, again, that means numerous realms of toughness. The five, you've probably heard it, the 5 people you surround yourself is who you will be. And I seek tough people. I seek people that are seeking similar things to me. I met a guy not long ago, Josh Kirsch, and he's a power lifter. And I've wanted to get into legit strength training. It's something I've never done. It's something I am uneducated in. And I've sort of hit this point in my fitness career, fitness lifestyle, that I'm ready to learn a different version just to test my mind and to truly test my body. I've always been a lean person. I can get lean for a photo shoot and all that yada yada, but it's time to try something new. And I feel that another portion of getting tough is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I know we've said that a billion times, but it's because it's accurate.
Yeah, I think it's that, I don't know if you guys have heard the movie Yes Man. It's kind of that Yes Man concept where, he went to this conference and he was told he just has to say yes to everything he's invited to or asked to do. And he did all of those things and he met incredible people and learned a bunch of new things and was so much better for it. And we're not saying you have to say yes to everything that's presented to you, but it's that same concept of getting out of your comfort zone and learning new things. You may learn that you don't like whatever that is that you just tried, but the point is you don't know unless you try it. So say yes to stuff.
Yeah.
Even if you don't think you're going to like it, you might be wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I believe that, how do you say this? I take it back. There have been times where I've said out loud to myself, because I think that self-talk is extremely, it can be very beneficial or it can be very negative. If you have, negative self-talk or positive self-talk, it can dictate the day. It can dictate a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are times where I do the same thing with nutrition, just like fitness or lifting weights or whatever. I do the same thing with nutrition. I'm like, I know what I need to eat that day, but I'm like, at times I will tell myself, oh, you probably need to eat a few more calories. You do. You worked really hard in the gym, and it's this, it's this little piece of entitlement. I think that I deserve it. It's like, yeah, you need 300 extra calories, Matt. You need that. Just go ahead, eat the donut or eat whatever it is. And at that point, I will say out loud at times, toughen the up. Like, you don't need that. You're BSing yourself.
Yeah, I need you with me when I come across the box of donuts at work.
They're everywhere.
I know. They're like landmines just trying to trip me up everywhere I go.
They really are.
And I think too, some of your points is that there's not a valid excuse at this point in our society where you can say, I'm not going to do that because I don't know how. Because there's an infinite possibility of learning how to do something if you just try.
Yeah.
So the problem isn't not knowing how to do it. It's that you're not even giving yourself the opportunity to learn because you're not trying.
Yeah.
There's podcasts, YouTube, there's Pinterest, there's people to follow on social media. There's an infinite, amount of possibilities to teach yourself, to motivate yourself, to keep yourself accountable. You just have to be motivated to start, to try.
Exactly. And that's ringing a bell with me right now, because I tend to train people that are in a general population that, they're not really looking for crazy strength, and they're really not trying to get crazy lean. They're just trying to get healthy, lose some fat, gain a little bit of muscle. And that's what I've done with my body. But the strength realm, I have not. So again, I'm uneducated in it, and it's been uncomfortable to realize that. And now I know that it's just ignorance. So what I have to do is figure out, how do you do it? So I've been reading. So like the classic thing to look at is called, is it Joe Weider? Jim Weider? Joe Weider's 5-3-1, and it's like the holy grail of strength training to most people. However, when I met with Josh the other day, he was like, it's kind of a one size fits all. And so it really takes me back to when I started, and it sort of gave me a bit of a snapshot of when people are starting in the general population. I just want to get fit kind of thing. Like, I thought that the 5-3-1, I thought that was the ultimate. I thought that was it. But, apparently it's opinionated. It's sort of a one size fits all. So now I'm looking at this thing called 753, August 753. It's a guy I followed for quite some time. And there's just an abundance of information out there. And the technicalities that come with strength and percentages, and then certain block training, and I'm sure some of y'all are sleeping by now. There's so much. Much.
You're kind of losing me.
There's so much like technicality in it, but the only excuse that I have is myself right now. I just have to dig and find it and learn it.
Yeah, just got to suck it up, buttercup. I'm not sure what that's from, but I like that saying.
Yeah, I've heard that somewhere else. So I've talked about this before, that how I keep myself disciplined and I feel a piece of staying tough is constantly reminding myself. And to remind myself, I actually use my phone. I'll set reminders of like, hey, you have to do this, or keep that commitment. I'll also use sticky notes. I put them everywhere.
Everywhere.
I use vision boards. So big sheets of paper. And I'll write it down, whatever the lesson is, a quote I heard, a goal I'm working on, and I will pin it up on the wall. I have a $20 bill that's on my bathroom mirror that, says that basically I am the master of you. You're not the boss of me. And it's these...
You've just admitted to defacing a government property.
I didn't say it was a real $20 bill. Come arrest me, it's fine. But in my office, it's a tinder box right now with how much paper is up on the wall with all the quotes and whatnot over the past 3 years.
And something a little less destructive to the walls, Matt, you've used a dry erase marker on the bathroom mirrors before, and that's helpful because you can erase and update your goals and have that right in front of you as you're getting ready in the morning or at night. Yeah.
Just the constant reminder really pushes you. And so we have an apparel line or a merch line, whatever you want to call it. And every shirt or tank that you see has a meaning. It's not just this is funny or whatever. And I actually made a tank and a t-shirt that has this podcast's title on it, because I know that every time I see it, it's going to hold me accountable. That's why I wear the apparel that you see me wearing. Sure, it's Matt Lane Fitness, but all of it means something. Every time I see it, it resonates with me. And I'm surprised I'm not covered in head to toe in tattoos, because like this is sort of along the same line, but I would look like a dictionary if that was the case.
Your one tattoo is bad enough.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Guys, this one was a little shorter, but I don't want to just string it along for the sake of stringing it along. We always want to bring you value. We don't want to fluff anything. You got anything else you want to say? I
think that's it. Just buckle down and toughen up.
Yeah. Just do the work you know that you are supposed to be doing and toughen the up. We'll talk to you guys next week.
This has been the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. We want to thank you for listening and invite you to subscribe to the show as well. And follow Matt Lane Fitness on YouTube. Until next time, you don't have to be perfect. Just be better than yesterday every day.